I'm live. Yay. And I am exhausted, but welcome to Growing Gratitude. I am Becca Lori Hector. We are here on Mondays at 11:30 a.m. to chat about all the challenges of being an autistic adult alive right now. And of course, how we get ourselves through those things and then motivate ourselves through the next week. Voila. That's what it's all about. And this week's episode, or issue, or whatever we want to call it, is a little bit different from the last few weeks that we've done together. And that's because I've got some stuff going on. And so, as you guys know, and as you can see, I try to come to you guys as raw and real and honest, right? As I can be about my life and to share with you kind of what's going on and all of those things. And as always, in the last few weeks, I've been honest with you about how hard it's been to kind of be watching the news and what's been going on. Morning, Bernard, and what's been going on, and kind of just how do we meander our way through it. Because it's been really, um, I don't know, people keep saying the word heavy, and I guess that's right. Um, it feels just to me like reality has warped itself around me. Um, Again, I've described it this way before as like this giant version of gaslighting is how it feels to me. And so that's kind of where I've been with it. It has felt like waking up every morning, right, and going to do my job in which I advocate for our marginalized community. Um, that it has been for it's for nothing. What it has felt like is, what did I do the last 10 years of my life for? And what's really jacked about that is that 10 years is also the 10 years of my autism diagnosis, right? I got my autism diagnosis. It really, really changed my life. I really, really, really wanted people other than me, right? I wanted to meet people other than me, but I also wanted there not to be another me, right? I didn't think it was fair for adults to be growing up missing this piece of information because we weren't presenting the way all of our counterparts present. And, the lesson of neurodiversity, the lesson of autism is that there is nothing normal, right? There is no normal, there is no average, there is no sameness when we think about the human condition, right? We're all different from the human next to us, right? And so that was sort of the journey, right? That was the idea behind, the advocacy work that I do. And I started very honestly, very vulnerably and very, you know, new to our community. And so I began really in nonprofit. I began working with the nonprofits that service our community. And after a few years doing that, I sort of felt comfortable enough to break out in my own and start having my own voice about things and opinions. And that's where I've been ever since. So it's actually been nearly, you guys, I can't stand my hair right now because I didn't even do it for this because I was like, I'm so tired. This is honestly how I'm feeling right now as a person, right? And everything. And so whatever, that's just kind of where I'm at with everything. And so yeah, and see, I hate it like this too. I'm just having a day, you guys. I'm having a sensory day because I'm the whole thing. Any case. Um Yeah, so that's how I started doing all of this. And right now it feels like everything I fought for, all the growth and forward motion that I fought for the last 12 years, right? In my own life, but also in our community. I feel like it was erased. I feel like we're trying to be rewound. It's trying to um, invalidate all of the work that we've done for the last 12 years and as a community. And it's heartbreaking to me. It's depressing to me. It's unempowering. It's also really, really very close to and too reminiscent of, right? The whole journey of being an unidentified autistic, right? Of truly having these experiences and having everybody else deny its reality to you, right? Your whole life. And so what's happening for us, I think, out in the world right now, what it's saying is we were like teased, like here, yes, we were confirmed in our reality, and now it's being ripped away again, right? We're being re-traumatized again. And so the repercussions of that are huge, right? They are in mass right now, and there are waves of it that I don't even know about. I haven't even allowed myself to think about, the repercussions from some of these things yet. But I have felt them. I feel them deeply in my personhood, in my soul. And so the reason I'm talking about that all here on Growing Gratitude is because I am feeling compelled to make a shift. Um, I just did this sort of mini shift back in September when I picked back up gratitude to do gratitude, and it has been beyond helpful to me to have picked this back up with you guys, to have picked up Patreon, even though it's not like taking off. I didn't expect it to. I'm a very particular taste. Very particular people get my stuff and just vibe with me and want to go on this journey with me for all of its messiness. And so I'm not surprised by that. But what I loved is that it confirmed for me that the people who do vibe with me really vibe with me, right? Um, and so it's been good to produce material for those people in that way. But for a very long time, for almost all 12 years that I have been an advocate, I have used social media as a tool, right? As a way to put my message out there, as a way to share my writing, as a way to share my thoughts and opinions, as a way to really share even also the work of all of my fellow autistics, right? I did that too. That's what it's all for, right? Neurodiversity Newsstand, if you're in it, right, on Facebook or LinkedIn, it's just a sharing group. It's there because I don't patrol what people share in there in that very tight way, right? It's not my group, it's our group there, right? So share your work there. That's what the whole purpose of half the things I spend my time doing on the internet are. But I had this realization in the last week, 2 weeks, that I hate it there now. I hate social media. I hate writing it. I hate trying to compete with the volume of other people's stuff. I hate the falsity of what advocacy looks like through the social media lens. Um, I I just think it's become an unhealthy place. And with hey Burnett, and with everything going on in the world right now, everything that's happening, it feels even louder and even messier and even scarier out on the internet right now. And like you have to be even more shocking or even bigger or brighter right now in order to be heard and seen, because now that everything is it's just everything is loud. So how do you be louder than loud, right? How do you get heard in there? um, and the process of doing social media and producing content in this way, right, for the world, it's very vulnerable for me, first of all. It's also really time consuming, takes energy, excuse me, all of those things. But on top of that, right, there's this hope that you're maybe connecting with some people as you're doing it. But the algorithm and the balance of it all, right? You have to be doing certain things in order to float to the top. And that's not the reason I started on social media, was because it was free and I didn't have to. I could just be me and share what I wanted to share. And that would act as a magnet, right? Of pulling people towards me that would like my course, that are interested in the things that I talk about, that care about the things that I talk about. But somehow, yes, Burnett, social media has become even more stressful. And I had to stop and reassess my spoons, because I'm putting a lot of spoons and energy, not just into the creation of it all, but of course, there's the engagement and the sharing and the whatever, right? And you want to share other people's stuff, so they share your stuff. There's a lot of energy that goes into that. Okay. And I've been feeling monetarily poor, but also energetically poor in the last 2 weeks. And that means it's time for things to shift. And so that's today's episode. This is a big, long, almost 10-minute introduction into what I'm about to talk about now, which is that I'm just going to stop, which sounds crazy probably to anyone who's not autistic. But if you are a long-term follower, you've watched anything that I do, you listen to the things that I talk about when we think about reprioritizing, right? The first thing we're supposed to do when burnout is beginning to occur is cull our plate. And to cull our plate of the things that we no longer want to prioritize. And guess what, you guys? I am over prioritizing social media, right? I'm over it. I'm tired of that game, that hustle. And I've done a fairly good enough job for myself of creating some kind of footprint out in the world. I've actually met all of my own personal goals for advocacy, right? Um, in the past 12 years. So I made those. So I'm kind of just hanging out in advocacy, right? To see where it's going to take me or what's coming next, right? Because I set out, I wanted to um, create a footprint for myself where it was taken seriously, where my opinion mattered, where I was doing things that changed the community at its core, the way that we are thought about, talked about, all of those things, right? The way that stuff, the way that material is delivered to us, all of those things, right? And I said, if I can do that and also create a little footprint for myself so that I can somehow create financial security so that I can build a life that I don't need a vacation from, that would be grand. And icing on top, if I can manage to write a book about all this, bing, I'd be excited. And you know what? Of course, too, that would be cool. 12 years later, right? Here I am. I have a very what I consider to be a very good job. I might not love it all the time. I don't think anybody loves their job all the time, but I don't have to worry that my paycheck is going to get in on time. I'm respected for my opinion in my job. There are a bunch of other things going on in my job, right, that make it a job, and it's not a job that when I started 12 years ago, I could have gotten. That's the biggest part about it, right? Is that this job is a culmination of a lot of work that I've done, right? And a lot of groundwork that I've laid, right? So I've got that. I've got my little community that I've created, our little tiny bubble and group of people, right? Who get the self-defined living concept, who want to live their lives that way, who want to prioritize themselves and their needs first, right? So that they can build a life like this. When I started, I was living in New York and I hated it. I was miserable, miserable. Moved to Colorado, did that for the whole world to see, right? Moved from Colorado for Maine, vlogged that for the whole world to see. Still on this channel, go see it. It was crazy, right? And difficult and sad. And I shared all of that, right? But that's all the work that I did to get where I'm sitting right now. And when I look at my life right now, I look at it and I go, well, damn, I really checked off a lot of things on my advocacy list. And if that's the case, maybe the response in this moment is I don't need to push so hard on social media. Maybe I'm happy enough with whoever finds me on Patreon, whoever stumbles across my YouTube, right? Who's ever seen my research or something I've written, whoever grabbed my book back there, right? And let them find me. I put stuff out there. I've left you breadcrumbs. That's how I feel. I've left breadcrumbs to myself, and a lot of them, right, over the course of the time that I have done this work. And so I think that it's time to just stop. So my plan is really simple. I have a few more posts left that are scheduled and will be coming out in the next week or so. But I'm just gonna stop. And I don't even want to do like, how some people stop and they announce it on social media and they're like, I'm gonna be stepping away from social media. And I don't want to do that because there are still things I'm gonna want to share. There are going to be articles I want to read that I want people to read. There are going to be things that my friends and colleagues are doing that I'm going to want to share and pass along, right? But I want to stop the hustle. I want to stop the content creation in that direction. I really enjoy this. I enjoy this kind of content creation. I enjoy doing podcast interviews with people. I enjoy talking to other people in my community and connecting with you, right? In ways that are comfortable for me and valuable also for me, for my growth, right? And social media is just like now, man, it's just a game. It's a cookie cutter game now. And it's about who's going to manage to find the right sweet spot at the right time and purchase the right sponsored ad, right? And that's a different kind of advocacy than I'm into, right? I don't really want to do that anymore. And so that's where I'm at. And so I wanted to share that with you guys. So one of the things that I think I'm going to hang on to is this little lovely space that we have here with Growing Gratitude. It has been a nice, consistent landing spot for me. I'm comfortable doing this at this speed. at this pace, right? What I don't dig right now, you guys, is our timing. I'm not a fan of this Monday midday thing. And I thought it would work for me, and it did kind of work with my schedule. But as I'm making this shift, kind of pulling back from social media, and the thing I said about it is I'm done sharing myself with the world in that way, right? Like I'm done shoving myself in people's faces, right? If you're interested in what I'm doing, come find me. Follow the breadcrumbs. That's how I want to go about it. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave breadcrumbs. So I don't want to stop doing gratitude. What I want to know from you guys is, when should I do growing gratitude so that more of us can join? I know I've got some UK folks for whom this is too late in the day. So I'm thinking about maybe an hour earlier. So 10 a.m. ET time. And we used to do Sundays. We used to do Sunday mornings. And that was a really good time for all of us. That's all how we connected. So I'm also considering, um, yay, Bernard, thank you. Because part of the reason I'm even doing today is because I wanted to make sure that everyone who comes regularly, right, is part of this conversation for when we do this chitty chatty. So I'm thinking, going back to Sunday mornings, the weather's getting nice outside again. I almost did today with the curtains open. Oh my God, and natural light. And so I should be able to do gratitude outside soon enough, right? I should be able to move us out there, and we can go back to the old mug and sitting outside and chit and chatting on Sunday morning, which feels true to what we do with self-defined living a little bit more, right? Like Monday belongs to the world, Sunday belongs to us. So that's what I'm thinking. Oh, yeah, Burnett says also Sunday is good for, see, so there's something about Sunday, you guys. I think I'm gonna move us starting next week to Sunday then. So this is me telling you guys who come regularly, next week it's gonna be Sunday at 10 a.m. If there are people, I will not name names. If you are watching from the UK and you have missed us because it's been at a crappy time, I am moving us back to Sunday at 10 a.m. And I hope that'll be a better time and you'll be able to join us again. And those of us who met regularly on Sunday, it was just our little like Sunday brunch time. We had a little Sunday chit chat. We got ourselves kind of together and ready for the next week, talked about the week that passed. I shared with you the stuff that's going on, right? I feel that feels like the vibe that I wanna head back to. I kinda wanna go back to those origins of showing up for you guys on Sunday morning in my Sunday best, right? Hair up, all a mess, just like this, right? And just sitting outside with you and spending those 10, 15, 20 minutes together outside in the fresh air, and reminding you to do the same, right? And getting us ready. And so that's perfect. So good. I'm glad that it works for most of us who are here live. And I'm hoping that for those of you who watch it on recording, you'll say, hey, now I can catch it live, and that'll be fun. So next Sunday, we'll go there. And we'll go back to that kind of old school, that core of what we were talking about, because um, I don't know if it's worth trying to be heard in the cacophony right now. That's how I'm feeling. I don't know if it's worth being heard in this cacophony right now. I don't think that's worth my energy. I don't think that serves me any valuable purpose. And with the nice weather coming up, the last thing I want to be doing is spending more time sitting in front of my computer, right? I want to be doing more reading, hopefully more reading, sitting outside reading, right? And more time going and doing and seeing places like our national park, Baxter State Park, which hopefully will still be around a year from now, right? All of those things, because there's something happening out there on these things, and it's feeling like it's no longer real. And social media was never real, but now I feel like it doesn't belong to people anymore. It's not us sharing our lives with each other anymore. It's become a machine of some kind. So I'm done, and I'm not gonna make a big stink. I'm just gonna stop, but I'm gonna keep sharing, right? No reason not to do that. I just don't wanna create a post 4 days a week, a new one, right? I don't want to worry about where that's sharing and worrying about who has comments about it. I'm done sharing that part of myself with the world. And there's a different part of myself that I know gets appreciated by a smaller group, but that's the people I wanna spend my energy with. That's where I want it to go. With that, I say, you guys, all right, growing gratitude. We are done with this week's episode. It's a rough one. It's a little personal for me. I thank you for being my venting spot around it. But this is me telling you that this is how it happens, right? I'm not in control of what's going on out there in the world. I can't control the shift that is happening, right? But what I do get to control is my response to it. And to me, it's not something that I want to participate in. And this is how you can respond. This is one of the ways that you take control of the things you have control of, right? Just me taking it back. World doesn't get to see this part of me. It doesn't get to get that much of my energy when it's just going to be wasted, right? I have people who I know would love to have it instead, right? And so with that, I say to you, my weekly reminder, please, 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 please take care of your meat suit, protect your headspace, and keep your eyes, ears, nose, mouth, everything wide open to all of the glimmers that are out there, because they come in all shapes and sizes. And these days they are very small. Something like the perfect bite of a sandwich could do it for you today. And so be looking for those little glimmers, because they matter. Because otherwise, why do we get up every day? With that, I say I will see you out on the interwebs. Feel free to reach out to me, to connect with me out there. Just because I won't be putting out a new post 4 times a week doesn't mean that I'm not there and that I'm not available for your chats and I'm not interested in the things that are going on in your lives. So have a good rest of your day, and I'm going to see you this Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern, and we'll get together then. Hopefully it'll be a nice day out, and maybe I could throw on a jacket and do some time outside with you guys and the dogs. Looking forward to it. I'll see you on Sunday. Bye.